Hi, welcome back to my channel, and this is a sound off on the Real Housewives of Potomac. Okay, so this storyline between Nneka and cousin-in-law and Wendy and her sister and the Gele and the Sippency and we know each other and we don't know each other and the shrine and the mama girl, wrap this on up. This is so dumb. This is so dumb. And it's like Nneka really in her mind think that somebody cares. This is like embarrassing, sweetie. It's looking like you and cousin-in-law have spent a lot of time talking about Wendy and her sister and her family. How do you know what transpired at Wendy's daughter Sip and See back in 2019? You only been married to this man 1 year. You ain't had time to plan your wedding good, but you got time to know all the details of what happened at Wendy's daughter's Sip and See back in 2019. Ma'am, you're embarrassing yourself. You need to stop. Now, I got particularly annoyed when Ashley was like, oh, Wendy's lying about not knowing LaVey because when she had a gele at her child Sip and See, you don't just give those to people off the street. Ashley, I'm going to need you to mind the business that pays you. Because that's not true. Do you know how many times we have worn Ashobi and Gele and Ashoke and all this other stuff in uniform for people we have never even met? I wore Ashobi for my mom's friend's pastor. That lady couldn't pick me up out of a lineup. My mom worked at the hospital for many, many years. Anytime one of her co-workers had a sister or a grandchild's christening, sister's wedding, cousin's wedding, somebody's wedding, they will bring Ashobi and Gele and Ashoke, whatever, for their co-workers to wear. I have many pictures of my mom going to her friends, her co-workers, people's events. Actually, you don't know what you're talking about. When she said that, that triggered me. I was like, girl, please shut up. Please shut your mouth, my friend. Hush. Because what are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about. I know you have African friends, but you don't know everything. Shut up. At the end of the day, it really seems as if cousin-in-law is really upset with Wendy's sister and Wendy and her mom and the whole family. And when two good friends fall out, that gets real ugly, gets real nasty. All type of secrets can come out of it. So I do not blame Wendy for not wanting to speak too much on the lady because she don't want to provoke her and she start putting her sister business out there. I don't blame her. And like I said in my last video, Bravo is not paying Ivy or Lebe, so I don't know why we sitting up here discussing them. It's really looking like, Miss Nneka, you are a fan. You seem to know way more about Wendy than Wendy knows about you. How do you know what took place at her daughter's Sip and See? That's not even something I would admit. Even if I knew, I would just be like, whatever. I wouldn't even... Ooh, go away from us with this, Apollo. I found it very rich that Giselle was trying to say, oh, don't put out drug accusations. Baby girl, I don't care. If you call somebody mama a witch, if she wants to call you a crackhead, a meth head, whatever kind of head, ain't got nothing to do with me. Because if you call my mama a witch, I would call you much worse. The fact that Wendy had the restraint to not bop you in your face when you called her mother a witch, she let you off easy calling you a crackhead. There's lots of things I play about, okay? I play all day, every day. But one thing I don't play about is my mama. I don't play about that lady. That lady was my life. If you sit up there and want to play with me about my mama, you get what you get. Whatever kind of crazy comes out, you get what you get. So you called that lady mama a witch, she called you a crackhead in return. I don't see no problems. So if I was Wendy, I would have been annoyed with Candace as well for like trying to go talk to NECA. But the thing about it is, Wendy, you don't have no leg to stand on because bitch, we remember what you did last season. When Candace ran out of that TikTok dance studio in tears, very much upset at what was going on, you sat your ass down in that chair very comfortably. You didn't go check on Candace. You done sat up here many a times trying to broker peace between Ashley and Candace. So if Candace want to go check on the newbie, she can go check on the girl. Ashley's husband is actively suing Candace right now, and you sitting up in Candace's face trying to broker peace. Are you for real? Candace, go talk to the girl if you want to talk to her. I wouldn't trust her though. I would say that. I wouldn't trust NECA because like I said before, if NECA can do this to Wendy, she can do the rest of you ladies much worse. These sex talks that these ladies like to have on these shows, it just don't never feel real. Doesn't feel organic. Feels forced. It feels weird. You heifers don't even like each other. So it's just kind of like, I don't know. They feel forced. They feel weird. It feels cringe. It's always giving cringe. And then it's like, everybody like, oh, you do that, you do that. Like, I'm not going to talk to you heifers about what I do or what I don't do. It's not y'all business. Y'all sat up there and judged Candace because Candace told the world season 3 that her man's peen was brown. And y'all made fun of her for so long. But here you have Robin telling us that she swallows. And I think she thinks that shit is cute. I think she thinks it's cute to be like, yeah, I'll be doing all of this. I'll please my man. You please your man, but he stay in these streets. Robin, you told us that the reason why Juan started talking to Miss Canada is because he was bored. You doing all of this, Robin, and he's still bored? Why does Giselle let you come on this show and make a fool of yourself every season? This is what happens when y'all be plotting on other people. Y'all don't have time to think about the stuff that y'all do for yourselves. This is why you be coming on the show looking crazy. You told us that that man was bored. This is why we shouldn't be having these talks. This is why we shouldn't, because this was just, Robin, you don't feel sorry for yourself? As far as NECA trying to have a baby, I wish a baby on you, girl. I hope that you're pregnant right now. While we watching this season, I hope you're already pregnant, okay? Like, you know. But if you're not pregnant, girl, I think you need to focus on that in your life and your happiness and keep your stress levels down and forget about Wendy and her sister and her mama and your cousin-in-law. Your cousin-in-law, she don't mean you no good. If she could do this to Ivy, who's been her friend for a very long time, you might want to watch that cousin-in-law. I'm just saying. Focus on yourself. Stay out of other people's business. Don't follow these girls to be wicked, okay? That's not what you need in your life. Now, if I told y'all I really care about Robin's feelings, I would be a liar, okay? I don't care nothing about Robin's feelings. Her being mad at Candace, girl, get over it. You have done a lot of shady, sneaky things to Candace over the years, and Candace has extended a lot of grace to you and not made a big deal of it. That don't mean you didn't do those things. So if you don't want to forgive Candace, girl, don't nobody care. When Giselle tried to hold Candace's feet to the fire, talking about she got to apologize to Ashley, you were sitting right there backing her up. You sat right there at Ashley's baby sipping seat with Monique saying that y'all needed to turn y'all back against Candace and so she would learn her lesson. You've done a lot of flaky, ashy things to Candace as well. Don't make me compile some clips. Get over it or don't. But anyways, they are all, y'all saw them. They was all in Robin's room having a great time. And when the dragon lady excused herself, that's always what happens. Everybody has a fun time, a relaxing time. They forget about their drama. They let their hair down. They have conversation. It's a vibe. I was thinking they're not going to get rid of Giselle. Somebody got to go. And if it's Giselle, I ain't going to be mad. But them OGs, somebody got to go. One or two of y'all gotta go. And right now, the way it's looking like, if you remove Giselle, this group can move forward for the better. Quiet as it's kept, I feel like she deserved that Lisa Rinna treatment, that Phaedra Parks treatment. Because what she did to Chris last season, I ain't gonna never forget. And I ain't gonna never let nobody else around me forget it. I'm just saying. So it really looks like we're going to be referencing season 3 for the remainder of this season because it's very relevant. And I hope Karen goes back and rewatches all of season 3 in preparation for the reunion because she gonna need it. Robin's outburst about, oh my God, what you guys want to do? Y'all want to beat me up? You guys, I have been harassed on social media, blah, 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 blah. Girl, we don't care. Hang it up delicious. We do not care. You have sat up there and dug in people's asses about their personal business that they shouldn't have had to share with you. Girl, did you think we forgot? Maybe you're thinking we forgot. We didn't forget, sweetheart. The way y'all did Karen season 3, you started it season 3 with making fun of her and her taxes and why she had to move to Great Falls and all. Does she even really live in Great Falls? I don't think she really lives there. You, Charisse, Giselle, and Ashley stayed on Karen's neck season 3 about Ray's business taxes. You sat up there at Karen's fake press conference talking about I am aware of every penny that comes in my household and every penny that leaves my household. Did you forget you said that? But now you want us to believe that Juan is paying for hotel rooms and you ain't know nothing about it? You've said a lot. You've said a lot. And if people really wanted to drag you, all they would do is just compile everything that you've said over the years. And what you said concerning Miss Canada. You've said a lot of things. A lot of what you have said don't match up with other things that you've said. I'm just saying. And I understand that no woman wants to volunteer that their husband is cheating. But per your own words is you have to be transparent with what's going on in your life. You have pressed almost everyone on this cast about stuff that's just not your business. You really have. And last season you did a lot of that. Especially to Karen. Karen asked you guys, please, let's not talk about my mother's funeral. You and Giselle, y'all said, no, we're going to talk about it. It's hard for me to find any kind of compassion for Robin. It really, like, the first couple of episodes, I felt bad for her because this relationship that she has with Juan, it's really sad. Like, it's sad. I feel bad for her. But it's like, Robin, you want to be able to do to people stuff that you don't want them to do back to you. And it's just like, girl, nobody has time for that. We really don't. Karen has every right to ride Robin's back for the rest of this season. And the next 3 seasons if she chooses to be real honest. Because Robin never missed opportunity to ride Karen's back. Every season you have referenced Karen's drinking or her possibly cheating on Ray or her lying about this and lying about that. You've done that to Karen how many seasons in a row? So if Karen is getting her lick back, I'm going to always support a bitch and getting their lick back. Because you tried it. Next time you, and I think that's the thing, right? Everybody's wondering why is everyone mad at Robin? Why is everyone doing this to Robin? Because they want Robin to learn a lesson. Moving forward in this group, we want you to feel the sting of what is happening to you so that next time you think about it before you try someone else. That is the objective here. So maybe you'll act differently in the future. That's what this whole thing is about. Y'all sat up there and tried to put out there that Eddie was cheating on Wendy, that Candace's husband was drinking so he don't really remember what he did to Giselle, if he did anything to Giselle. We want to know who paid for Jacqueline's car. Was it G or was it not G? Do you and Mia have a couple? Are y'all a throuple? You be all in everybody's business and you don't want people in your business. Does Juan know that you do this on this show? Is Juan aware of the things that you do? You have been Giselle's accomplice and getaway driver for 7 seasons in a row. When Giselle is wreaking havoc everywhere she goes, you support it. You benefited from it because you're a green-eyed bandit. You have benefited from the bullshit that Giselle has done. We don't have no empathy, sympathy, nothing. We don't got it for you, girl. We don't got it. You got to stand in your shit. Sorry. You're going to have to feel the sting of this, girl. You just going to have to feel it. So, Robin, you got the time to check and see who has blue checks behind their name on Twitter. But you don't want to see the correspondence between Juan and his lady friends. Didn't Robin and Giselle say last season that they don't pay attention to Twitter and that they don't get involved in social media? Y'all hoes be lying. Y'all forget the things that y'all say. Like, y'all just be talking, and then when y'all get called out, y'all get upset. How you, girl? Now, if Karen wants to pay for Twitter Blue, is that even a thing anymore now that it's no longer called Twitter? I don't know. I don't think I care. I think it's funny, though. It's funny how you thought you was doing Karen when you told on yourself, too. About Schmeagol suing Candace. First of all, let me say this. When it comes down to lawsuits, everybody knows that you don't speak on legal matters that are ongoing. Everybody knows that. If you don't know that, you should be embarrassed to admit that you don't know that. Unless you're under the age of like 14, you should know that. And like I said, if you don't know that, you shouldn't even want nobody to know you don't know that. You should be a little bit embarrassed, okay? That's number one. For them to even ask her about that is... Let me tell you something. If nobody knows, all the housewives across the board should know that when Teresa went and spoke, Teresa and Juicy Joe went on Watch What Happens Live and spoke on their case, it was literally like the final nail in the coffin. They literally shot themselves for doing that. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why Bravo is forever going to rock with Teresa and her family, because they helped tear her family apart. Your Miranda rights tell you to shut the hell up. Your lawyers are going to tell you to shut the hell up. Why the hell would she go on TV and talk about it? See, I think number one, they feel like Candace has no self-control. They feel like Candace is reckless. So they want Candace to say something that damages her defense. That's number one. Number two, I think the whole purpose of this lawsuit was to bring Candace down to her knees. We know that since she's come on this show, everyone in this cast has taken turns trying to humble Candace. And I think they were hoping that maybe she'd come on the show being disheveled, unravel maybe, and cry and break down and say, oh my God, he's suing me. Ashley, please make him not sue me. And you're not getting that from Candace. So they just set me, a stupid ass, up there to kind of poke the bear. And this is all nonsense. You have come on this show since season 1 and has done nothing but embarrass yourself. You have invaded people's personal space. You have harassed people on this show. I don't know what Candace said about you last season that could damage your personal image more than the stuff you've done to yourself. The lawsuit, to me, in my opinion, even I ain't got no legal degree, but it seems frivolous. You're on video grabbing people's behinds. You're on video at Candace's wedding talking about you want to go and grab Ray's behind. You walked up to Chris, season 5, yelling and cussing at him because you overheard Candace having an argument with Karen. That didn't even have nothing to do with you. You have a hard-on for Candace. Then you hopped your ass on over to the Bahamas and went to her concert so that you could yell at an innocent woman who you thought was Candace. I don't see how anything Candace has said about you is worse than the things that you've actually been caught doing. It's just insane. It is. Now, when Candace reverse Uno'd Robin's bullshit back on her and Juan's legal case. Yo, this is why Candace will always be my fave. And the assist from Dr. Wendy, that was a moment. I was here for it. Robin looked so frazzled trying to defend Juan. She just was all over the place trying to fight for her man. And it was just like, girl. As far as Juan's case, this is what I will say. The whole thing looks bad. I don't think that Juan did anything to this young man who was suing him. Present day, I think this case has been dropped. I don't think Juan did anything to the young man, but he did not do everything he could to help this young man. And that is the problem. When you are a coach, you have to realize that you are somewhat of a parental figure to these athletes. A lot of these kids are leaving home for the first time. They're away from their parents for the first time. You're supposed to be some type of protector. You're not supposed to just be like, oh, go and dribble the ball, go do run drills, go do this. A robot, a machine could tell them to do that. They are there under your guidance. And I don't feel like Juan did enough. They say the coach that, assaulted this young man and harassed this young man was one of Juan's friends that Juan hired. I don't know if that's true. We probably not going to ever know the real story because it's been dismissed or what have you. But if Juan did indeed hire this man, he was wrong for not watching this man closely. In the documents, it says that Juan admitted that the guy is crazy. Everyone knows he's crazy. And it was just what it was. It looks bad. It looks bad that you had time. You had time to go get your nails done with Coach Bree, but you weren't paying attention to these student athletes that you are in charge of. You got time to go do laundry with Coach Bree. You got time to be pen pals with Miss Canada. You got time to do everything but the job they hired you to do. In my opinion, there had to be a fall guy with all the negative things that were coming out about Juan. I would have fired him too. I would have. Y'all record ain't all that great. You out here cheating left and right. You look like an irresponsible or reckless man. You look like you're not even loyal to your family and to your wife. How can you be a responsible person that's in charge of these young men and molding and guiding these young men? It's not all about just winning games. You're trash. You're trash. And even the school was like, yeah, we not robbing. We ain't got nothing for you. We're going to have to let you go. And then Robin and all this hysterics and these tears, it's like, Robin, girl, bye. Because that man told us himself he didn't care that he was fired. So what you crying for? I think Robin speaking about all of this on her Patreon was a very foolish thing to do. Candace told you right. You don't speak on legal matters. You don't speak on certain things. You kept all of this away from filming. For you to go on Patreon and talk about it, that was a dumb thing to do. You did so much talking, I think you have forgotten most of what you said. You went on Patreon and you said too much. So Candace told you right. You shouldn't have been speaking on it. Because I guarantee you they took everything that you said. They listened to it. All of that went into why they fired that man. When Robin said that, oh, Juan didn't smash Miss Canada, but he sent one of his friends over there and she smashed his friend. Do you know how that looks? Not to mention that they say the people been saying that Juan was on that campus doing things. There's been a lot of little blind items about Juan. Like when Karen said that Juan be all up in these streets, going here with other women, she not the first person to say that. There was a whole ass rumor season 6 that Juan wasn't even living with y'all in that townhouse. There's a lot of things out there about Juan. And when you went on Patreon and you started spilling your guts thinking you was doing something good, you was doing something that you shot yourself in the foot, girl. And I don't know why you just can't own, like, damn, I messed up. That's all you really have to say to get out of this, is to say, I messed up. Over the years, I've been insensitive to you guys. I've been insensitive to your situations. I've laughed. I've snickered. I've added my 2 cents in. I've been obnoxious. Because I thought that, you know, I told everybody I was broke. I told everybody that me and Juan are divorced. I never thought that I would get embarrassed like this again for a second time. Like, just apologize to these women. Yes, Karen, I went extra hard on you because I was going through some stuff. Apologize. Just own it. And say, you know what? Yeah, I did some obnoxious things. I was insensitive. I was wrong. Now it's my turn. I'm reaping what I sowed. I was in them confessionals talking cash money trash about everyone. And now I got all my karma at one time. Because I think that's the thing that's really hurting her, is like everything is happening one after the other, one after the other. But what she's not realizing is that has been the case for a lot of these women. Karen's mama was dying. Her daddy was dying. She showed up to that reunion, I think a week after she buried her father. And y'all were mean to her at that reunion. Y'all didn't give a damn what she was experiencing. She really had to take on the financial burden of her household. Her husband owed millions to the IRS and y'all didn't care. Y'all kept picking at her. Y'all don't know what that could have done to her own health or her husband's health. Y'all didn't care. So for Robin to talk about a pylon, you have participated in many a pylons. All you have to do really, Robin, is just be humble in this moment and say, you know what? Dang, I didn't think this would happen to me. I'm embarrassed. I feel away. I wasn't going to volunteer this information to y'all, but you know what? While I was going through that, I probably should have shut up about y'all situations. You went to the lawyer and filmed a scene talking about you wanted an infidelity clause in your prenup, but you never mentioned the fact that Juan did what he did to you, girl. You sat up there and accomplished to all the foul shit that Giselle has done to others over the years. But you didn't think it would ever be you again, right? You thought you had already experienced your embarrassment. You didn't think it was coming for you. When you know your husband is a cheater. Juan didn't just start acting like this today. You've been knowing. When you was in bed depressed, season 6, that's what you was depressed about. That your man can't just act right. And you didn't even have to tell nobody that he cheated on you. Literally, all you had to do was film a scene with Giselle or Ashley and say, you know, I don't really know about this wedding. Me and Juan got things to figure out. That's all you had to say. And we would have been like, okay, what was we going to do? The car ride scene where Robin is crying, child, I'm not buying them tears. The way I would have sat there with my face frozen, you wouldn't have got no kind of emotion out of me, because I think Robin is full of shit. Last season, when she did that speaker thing to Candace, and Candace was all upset, and Ashley was secretly recording Candace, she didn't care. And then to evade accountability, she used her friend's passing as a way to just gloss over what she did to Candace. These tears are bullshit. You sitting there in the hot seat in front of Giselle, Charisse, and Ashley, and you didn't shed one tear. And now you're in the car with these girls and you're crying. I would have looked over at her like, you done? I really would have. I'm sorry. Like, I have compassion for people, but Robin, you full of shit. You're full of shit. You were laughing at Candace when she cried over how y'all treated Wendy. It annoys me when I see them trying to coax her. Like, girl, bye. Goodbye. Goodbye, Robin. I'm going to need you to be real. I'm going to need you to be honest. Juan already told us he didn't care that he got fired, so why are you sitting up there crying? I don't understand. I don't understand what you're crying about. I really think that Robin feels that because Ashley and Giselle are really the ones that do the heavy lifting and the nastiness that goes on this show, that this shouldn't be happening to her, right? Like, Giselle and Ashley are the ones who do mean things to everyone else. I just be in there. I just help move it along a little bit, you know? I'm just a getaway driver. I shouldn't be punished for any of the things that they've done. Girl, you just as guilty because you've allowed it to happen. Last season, that's Chris thing, y'all ain't never getting away with that. That was wrong. You and Giselle claim to be this duo. So you cannot do that and make us feel like Giselle and Ashley did that without you knowing about it. You knew it was going to happen. You knew it was going to happen. You should have stopped them. We should have seen you telling Giselle, girl, this is wrong. I don't want to be a part of this. You told her she was wrong, but then you kept going from person to person talking about it. You brought the matter to Juan. I'm never going to get over it. When you brought the matter to Juan is when I was like, girl, you got your supporters on Twitter lying, saying that Chris and Candace spoke on you and Juan. You and Juan spoke on Chris first. Juan sitting on camera saying Chris should apologize to Giselle if he made her feel uncomfortable is bullshit. I truly believe that you used that opportunity to prop Juan up. Y'all knew that Coppin State situation was bubbling to the surface. Y'all knew it was coming. And I think you said, let's do a little bit of damage control. Let's get Juan to get on TV and be about, hey, yeah, holding his fellow man accountable of sexual misconduct. So that when the Coppin State thing came out, it would have been like, well, no, Juan is an upstanding guy. Giselle spoke to Karen about it, and then that was it. For you to go talk to Mia and then go talk to Juan, and then you were shimmying when you went to go meet up with Candace and Chris, girl, those producers don't love you the way they love Giselle. Because if they didn't want you to look bad, they would have edited season 7 a lot differently. All we know, Giselle probably was talking about it with everybody, but they didn't show that. What did they show? They showed you, Robin, talking about it, showing up like you, almost like you ambushed Candace and Chris. They showed you talking about it with Giselle. They showed a snippet of you and Ashley talking. They showed you talking to Mia. Then they show you talking to Juan. You and Juan knew Coppin State was on its way coming out. Y'all knew that there was a chance that Miss Canada had shared this information with someone else on the show. And you still thought it was smart to go on camera and ask Juan what he thought Chris should do. You're getting the energy you put out there, Robin. And this narrative that, oh, Candace's fans are telling her what to think. We can't tell that lady what to think. She don't listen to us. We can't tell her what to think. It's just a lot of us watched it and we saw the bullshit. We saw through what you was doing. I think in the moment, Candace probably gave you a lot of grace, again, because she's your friend. But when she watched it, just like the rest of us watching it, we saw the bullshit. We couldn't help but see what we saw. Talking about some, oh, she wasn't upset until the fans start telling her that. Girl, get the fuck out of here. Because you are now utilizing Twitter and your supporters on Twitter to land your narratives. But Candace ain't allowed to do it. Anyways, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about this episode. Robin, I need you to get it together. They have barely pressed you and you're falling apart. Do better. You have pressed people far worse than this. And you sitting up there crying. I don't even know if these tears are real. I'm starting to feel like, girl, you're doing this for sympathy because you just don't want to deal with it, so you're pretending to cry. Ain't no way you this weak. Ain't no way you're this weak. Because if you're this weak, if you're this fragile, if you're this sensitive, then you should have been keeping your mouth closed you should have been shutting up. You shouldn't have been bothering people all these years. You shouldn't have never been saying nothing to nobody. You should not be Giselle's right-hand man if you're not built for this. Because the pressure not even really on yet. But anyways, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.